Hi, everyone. Welcome. This is our live coverage of the State of the Union. This is going to be with me, Connor Twinkle, and Gray. How you doing, Gray?
I'm doing just fine.
Okay, this is going to be a wild disaster, isn't it?
I mean,
Okay, then.
look who's doing the State of the Union. Of course, it's
Well,
gonna be a disaster.
okay. So, because we have, I don't know, about an hour until the thing actually starts, what are you expecting to hear? What are you expecting to see at the State of the Union? Um,
Um, I'm expecting him to probably talk about Ukraine, but also he's probably gonna fuck it up, if I can say that. um,
oh boy.
I, I think he's gonna try and talk about Ukraine. Um, he might try and talk about COVID. Um, that's really about all I expect. If he talks about anything else, I will be surprised. Those are
I
the
think
biggest issues I see, so
I
probably that's what he's
I
going to
I
talk about.
I can see him going out and saying how he's handling Ukraine so well and how it hasn't been a disaster since day one. And well, he doesn't think it's been a disaster since day one. The American people may have a different opinion on that, but he's probably going to talk about that for probably about, I don't know, half an hour, 15 minutes, and then go on how he's upset that his COVID mandates didn't go through. And then he's probably then going to be pitching about the Supreme Court, and then may eventually go through. And I don't know. Maybe he'll go through eventually and say something like, "Well, we're going to be getting some stuff done. I am so glad to see that the software is working because we have comments coming through." Good, good. But yeah, the State of the Union is going to be really interesting this year because probably going to rant about COVID and a couple other things, and about how his COVID stuff didn't go through. And he's probably going to finish it out saying how great our economy is. I really don't know how this is going to go. So if you're watching at home, this cup doesn't appear. Does it appear? Nope, kind of. Just pick up some Burger King, get something to drink, get the fire pit ready, and have a great, fantastic time. That's what I'm gonna go with. Got anything to add, Gray?
No, I think you nailed it on the head right there.
So, I guess what we're gonna end up going into now is I guess Ukraine, because there really isn't that much to talk about till the State of the Union starts, and I wasn't really expecting this software to go working that well. So Ukraine has a leader right now that is doing a lot of stuff on Twitter. They did get some help from Elon Musk earlier this week. I mean, not earlier this week, earlier today. The Starlink satellites did arrive, which satellites, the Starlink base stations. You haven't seen that those have arrived. Here is a quick picture of them arriving. I think it's worth showing. It should appear in a second. But yeah, the base stations did arrive in Ukraine. That is their foreign tech, kind of, not really technology, so like communications. He put that out. He worked with the people in the U.S. to get that. And to be honest, I'm actually quite shocked how quickly that actually arrived in Ukraine. I mean, there's supposed to be a shortage of Starlinks, and there's a bunch of them sitting there.
Yeah,
Wow.
that is a truck full.
Yeah, there's a better view of the image. Humongous image.
God.
Yeah.
So, what do they do? What does this Starlink stuff do?
So the Starlink is actually oh boy, the chat.
This is
Starlink
gonna be
is at
fun.
it is going to be fun. Starlink is actually a very interesting piece of technology. So if you're not familiar with Starlink, Starlink, am I calling it right? Is it Starlink? Yeah, it is
I believe
Starlink.
so. Yeah, Starlink. There it
It
is.
is Elon Musk's wireless internet provider. Well, not wireless, but satellite internet. It gives you really high speed for being in the middle of nowhere because it's one of the fastest satellite internets on the market right now that you can possibly get. Super easy to set up. Basically, you get a wire, plug into this thing, go into that thing, take it out, put it outside. Pretty much like setting up a direct TV dish. If you ever done that before, looks nice, very small, very durable from what I've heard, and it's powered by SpaceX. And while on the Ukraine subject, I have to say Elon Musk, since we're talking about him, is a complete savage. So what are you?
Agreed.
Have you heard about the International Space Station in Russia?
Didn't they I heard something about them. I'm not sure what they did.
So I have to say I have a lot of respect for Elon Musk, because he's one of those business people that's just funny, as it possibly can be. So allow me to just okay, just bring it up right here for everyone to read. Okay, so this is what happened. You can see below the text in non-Russian, and the
That
guys,
would be
and I'm not.
English.
Yes, it would be English. As you can see, a lot of junk up here. When I'm going to read that, but we're just going to focus on this part. So the head of the Russia space, equivalent to NASA, basically, put this out, and this is a section of a long Twitter thread. Garbage with your talented businessmen have polluted the Earth's orbit. Is produced exclusively by the engines of Russian Progress, MS cargo ships. If you block cooperation with us, who will save the ISS from an uncontrolled deorbit and fall into the United States or ... And Elon Musk responds with the fact that it's his logo and not just SpaceX. This is the equivalent to him giving someone
He definitely went through his archives, found the file with his logo in it, and went. He flipped off the Russians.
Yeah, 100%. That is exactly what happened.
The effort he went through to do that.
To just send that out, and a lot of
Nice.
people just don't do that, which is partly a little bit upsetting in a way. I guess I don't know why, but apparently I'm live on Facebook on my account and not on the actual news one. So we found one issue with the computer system.
Well, you'll get to the old people at least.
I don't know. We on
But
YouTube.
I have an update on the topics Biden will cover. According to multiple sources, Biden will most likely talk about inflation, and either how well he's handled it or how badly it's going, the invasion of Ukraine, and of course COVID.
That is fantastic. I just realized that I had the C-SPAN thing showing up this entire time as the thing.
Yes.
So if anyone wondering, I don't know why, but we're just gonna change that to screen. Screen. That is a screen. Woo. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get used to this technology. I mean, it's been worth it so far. A very good tech. So yes, they did go out with those Starlinks, and so anything else on like what you just read?
Yes, I will. So the pandemic will be addressed, and he's probably going to talk about the CDC.
Didn't I just say that?
And it's relaxed its mask guidelines apparently last week.
Yes.
according
Did
to.
not. If you did not know, that is on our website. If anyone wants to watch this, to look at it, look at SouthBridgeNews.com. We should have an article about that. If we don't, then someone's not doing their job properly. To look at. Okay. We got a lot of stuff going on right now, especially with everything going on in the world.
He's also probably going to talk about his infrastructure bill. I believe it's a bill. I don't know if it's passed yet or not. I haven't been really keeping up with the progress of that.
Build Back Better has got so many hits because of how horrible the bill itself was written and how neither side will get the thing approved. It's honestly became a disaster. And honestly, there's a lot of good reasons why it shouldn't pass, and there's a lot of good reasons why it should pass. But the thing is, they need to like dissect all the useless junk out of the bill that shouldn't be there, because there's a ton of useless junk. I saw somewhere that they were trying to pass a bill just this week, some type of bill or aid package, and it involve something with Ukraine, and they weren't sending they were like trying to put something else behind it. Let's just take some looks at some stuff that's just going on inside Ukraine. I'm going to bring up a video real quick. Viewer discretion is advised.
Isn't it always?
Earlier this week, Ukraine did have a tank that did just drive straight into a car that was trying to get away. And we still don't know, or Western journalists don't know, what exactly made this tank want to drive into this car. All that we know is that the guy is okay, which is fantastic.
Miraculous.
Well, it either means one of two things. Either it's a miracle from God, or possibly Russian tanks aren't built well.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I mean, that thing obviously could take a drift. I mean, back up.
Back it up?
Yeah, back it up to where the tank comes barreling around that corner.
Okay, I gotta
even
go
further.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it torn. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he drifted. You can see the concrete in the. Obviously, they can drift, so maybe that'll be their superpower. Drifting the side of a building.
Well, I will say there's a lot of damage to that vehicle, so it is a really big miracle the guy's alive.
Yeah, it looks as if the tracks went just parallel to him, and he was sat just in the middle where the flat underbelly of the tank was, or the APC was.
Okay.
And he just barely missed it. I mean, look at that. It looks like the tank crushed both sides of the car, but narrowly scraped over him.
It's just shocking, all of the footage that we've seen. Though out of all of them, this one is by far the best footage that I've seen so far.
Oh yes.
Это, блядь, хит, нахуй, пиздец. Пиздили технику, блядь.
I don't know about you, but I have about two questions every time I see this video. Number one, how did you attach that tank to a tractor? And number two, where are you? Because I want to see how you did this.
Also, why do you leave your tank unattended so that someone has time to hook it up to a tractor and then drive it away?
Well, there has been reports, and certainly videos like this do make you wonder that there is within the Russian troops that they are starting to just lay back.
A disregard for their orders, yeah. Which is good.
So I'm laughing. I just can't. The YouTube recommendations just do not flow with any videos whatsoever anymore. So yes, we do have a lot of stuff that is being shown through here, but there's also a lot of things coming out of Ukraine, a lot of things, and Twitter has decided they need to label everything about it as sensitive material, which, it is sensitive. One thing I do have to say is the Kyiv, I'm going to butcher the name probably, the Kyiv Independent has
Kiev.
been, Kiev, okay,
That's why you have
Independent,
a historian here.
yes, has been keeping up with the news down there pretty frequently. But one thing you have to realize is there is Russian, American, and Russian propaganda going throughout this entire war. So you really can't trust that many news sources. Jimmy down the road, who has no journalism degree, probably has a better clue what's going on in some ways than the actual journalists. Apparently there was an airstrike in, okay, can't confirm that, but there is a lot of videos that you can see on Twitter that you really can't tell if they're true or not. There's hundreds of them, and you can't tell if they're true. Like a lot of these, that we're showing at the moment, that they're saying that there's been warnings, gunfire. We can't tell these are true because there hasn't really been that many adequate investigations done on any of it.
Yeah.
And one that irritates me personally as someone who runs a media company, AP, like, could you not make these images because it's a national disaster? Could you not make them free? I do not want to have to pay $1,000 for the right to that image to post it on my website. It's outrageous.
What?
Oh yes, don't get me started. Yes. So
what?
since we're watching this live, I think it's best, since we're doing the State of the Union address, we should go see what Twitter thinks about the State of the Union as we go through the State of the Union. Yes. So
when is it scheduled to start? At 9?
I'm not exactly sure, but I am going to test something in about it should start around 9 o'clock. We got about 30 minutes until it starts.
Okay.
We have to use the C-SPAN footage because I do not have the rights to anything else, so we have to use C-SPAN. Is it C-SPAN or C-SPAN?
Span.
Comment which one you think it is.
No, it's definitely Span.
Definitely spam.
No.
C-SPAN.
No. You rug.
Well, okay, that was a horrible Obama impression. Anyway, so we have a lot of people who are looking at this State of the Union, and why are all these news articles? I want to see what the people have to say about the State of the Union 2022, not what the media companies have to say.
Yes, the people.
We want to
The
see what
only
the
people we can trust
have to say.
nowadays.
I mean, you can also trust the pizza man. Okay.
Yes.
That is a
Pizza man,
really
most
odd ad.
importantly.
Okay, Trump.
It's Daddled.
Okay, really can't see that
Oh,
many. What was that for?
I don't know who that thing was on my screen. He just popped up and went away. Oh, there's another one.
This.
Oh, God.
Okay. I thought something actually not should have appeared. That's what you saw. Okay. So what are these? Okay, the United States of America is led by a man of integrity, empathy. Biden puts his country first, American people first. I stand with Biden. What even is this graphic?
Wait, hold on. Let me try and understand this. Hold on.
Inflation is a
Nick
problem
marks my
everywhere.
crap because my camera's up here. I'm gonna be over here all the time.
You don't have to worry about it, Gray. You don't have to worry about it. I mean, it's not like the union starting where people want to see your reactions. We're sort of just like in this little thing together, I guess you could say.
Very fun.
Why is it on?
I think it's just a shrug off plan. Like, it's basically, we have a plan and the Republicans don't kind of graph. It's like, just throw away all their opinions and put a weird face or Lenny face doing this and whatever.
Now, this is something we actually should have done, because this actually is not that bad of an idea and would actually be kind of a cool way. And I'm actually not trying to make fun of Biden when I say this. If someone made a bingo
sheet
of what they expected him to say during the State of the Union, that actually be really cool. Stay tuned to next year. You'll see a bingo sheet, guaranteed. So there seems
We
to be
need
a
to have
bunch.
like a drinking game for like water or coffee or something. Bro, I need to go get mine. Hold on. Before we start this, we need to find a bingo sheet and just run down it as we watch. I'm gonna go get me something to drink.
Okay, you go do that. I'm gonna put you out of the call for just a split second. So what we'll be doing today is basically going to be covering some of the stuff going on, looking through Twitter, showing some broadcasts of the live coverage, along with some interesting things here on the live stream. Gray will be just back in just a moment. Hopefully, he's going to be getting a bingo sheet. We had no plans of doing that tonight, but we will be doing that tonight. So I will just be connecting my phone real quick because we do want to show you what people are saying on Twitter as it's happening. If I can do it through Twitter, I'm going to try joining through Twitter. We'll be right back just after a quick break.
Cannot hear. Can you hear me? Oh God, technical difficulties.
I need to buy a new headset. That's what I need to do. What do you think? Could you hear me now?
Misa agree.
So this is the PlayStation 5 headset. There's a button right here. The audio sucks. I apologize. I haven't got a new one for this yet. So you got that. I got a bottle of water and a sweet tea from Burger King. Hashtag not sponsored. And I guess this is what we're going to be doing. Are you pouring a beverage live? Dude,
What?
I'm just so glad I had a perfect transition for this.
What? What?
I got it so like it perfectly can see your drink. So do you have the bingo board ready, or should I make a bingo board?
I don't. You like my
Actually,
cup?
let's make a bingo board quickly online. What we
Look.
expect.
You like my cup?
Yes. So, wait, what is it? Oh, it says I love history. Good.
Got to make
Doesn't
sure
s-
people know I'm a nerd.
Okay, so we're gonna make a bingo board real quick of what we think Joe Biden will say, of what we expect him to say, I guess. So allow me just to switch to the new tab.
We.
Why is it? Oh, wait, hold on. I didn't switch the tab. Wait, is it being? Oh. I will someday learn how to use this software.
Bingo card generator.
Okay, so we're gonna call this what is this? State of the Union.
Bingo sheet. Just keep it simple.
And you will be able to download this if you're watching it at home, or you can view it saturation post. Okay, so I think we all believe that Biden is going to say the word COVID.
Oh, absolutely.
He's going to say CDC.
That shouldn't have any penalty because it's
Putin.
Okay.
Trump. That's definite. We're going to probably hear Build Back Better.
You spelled build back. I don't have any place to speak because I can't talk.
Okay, what else could he say? COVID, CDC, Putin, Trump, Build Back Better.
Already about to win.
I'm glad people are commenting. That's always nice to see. So, Gray, are you broadcasting this on your
Yes.
Twitch? Did you
Yes.
use the thing I sent you?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so how is that working?
Well, it's on my Twitch, and you can go to my Twitch at Frozen Blazer. 06.
Please consider following his Twitch.
And
Subscribing after you
It's-
subscribe to this channel if you're
it's-
watching it on his Twitch.
it's just there. I don't know.
It's amazing. People are watching your channel thinking that they're watching something. This is all saturation. It's an entire computer system. It goes into other people's channels.
I don't mind.
Makes their life easier. Okay, so gasoline's probably something he's going to talk about. Ukraine, definitely something. I'm expecting here the words nuclear.
Oh yeah.
Probably gonna also.
No, but these are okay. We need to start getting into like the real. After we get past the free spot, we need to get into like really specific stuff that he's probably going to say.
Okay. What else would be with the stuff going on? Nuclear. We probably have other things as well.
Inflation.
Yes, definitely would expect to see something around it with inflation.
Oh, because it's 40% higher. He's probably going to say 40% lower. So you might want to put that in there too.
Exactly 40% lower. I'm going to say he's going to say the words middle class.
Okay.
Healthcare. And white supremacy.
What? Okay.
Well, I can see some type of race thing being somehow poured into this. So that's why I'm putting that on the list of something that could be said.
Tough on Putin. I'd put tough on Putin.
That goes under Putin. That counts with Putin.
Okay. Oh yeah, global warming. Oh yeah, the vaccine.
I would also guess what's that organization that the businesses are managed by? Oh boy.
The AO
What the?
APA? Is it
You
APA?
put it in the chat, please, if anyone knows. OSHA. It's OSHA.
OSHA. There you go. I was
Um,
about to look it up.
I'm gonna look it up. I know China. And Afghanistan, because of his fantastic Afghanistan withdrawal.
Yeah.
What else?
They're asking you what your Twitch is, Connor. Do you have one?
Saturation News does not have a Twitch, but our sister company, Previous Generation Gaming, does, which is part of the Saturation family. So yes, there is a Twitch. Why are you dying, Gray?
Just, I'm metagaming over here. I already know information that you're telling them, so it's funny.
Okay, so we put Pentagon.
Damn good slurp. Corn. No, bro.
What?
I think he's going to actually stutter. Like not his regular stutter, but he's just going to get lost in thought and then completely forget what he's talking about and then go to something else.
Okay, I understand what you mean.
Just put lose train of thought.
Okay, that's down.
That was a bad shit. Fuck. I'm sorry.
We both coughed like 2 minutes after doing it. So I think I may have another guest. One of our guests has decided that he cannot make it.
Dang.
How upsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess it's just gonna be us, unless some other guy logs on who we're not gonna mention. Okay, so I'm gonna generate this, and we are going to share this. Okay, we're gonna share this.
Sound like Biden repeating yourself.
Well, you know the thing.
Well, you
Is
know
that-
the thing that's on the thing and it's in the Bible
This
or
is-
whatever.
This is the reason I had to put on the thing that this could be this. Okay, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take this image, and I'm gonna.
mute me.
I'm not gonna mute you. See, this has become really entertaining. I'm actually thinking of making this like a whole series, like making myself.
God.
This is already outrank the Ben Shapiro show and all the Daily Wire cast members. They don't have a bingo chart that they're going to be comparing to Biden.
I know who will.
Who?
Louder with Crowder. They will definitely have a bingo sheet.
No one ever see it. Out of sight, out of mind. You can't
Yep.
see what I named the file. Louder with Crowder, better than louder with Crowder. Bingo. That's what we got, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
So I'm actually going to be getting that on the website for everybody to see. But as it's up, I guess we should have a small discussion regarding what exactly we have just created. So this isn't really to make fun of him, but to be honest, every single time the president's of the State of the Union, the media does make fun of him. So we're trying to make this a little bit entertaining. With Trump, you could have said how many times he'd say China. What would Trump say if he was at
How many times he said, I'm greater than everybody else?
Absolutely, I'm greater.
Build a wall.
Build a wall, better than everybody.
Shut up.
Take a chill pill.
Sit down. There's
Sleepy
plenty.
Joe. Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe.
Could you drink a thing of water without dying?
No.
I'm waiting till the actual show starts and you spit it all over the camera. So if you go to our website, I just uploaded the hell. I guess that's what I'm going to call it. If you go to saturationnews.com and you go to the full page, what you will see is State of the Union, and you will see live State of the Union live resources. And what you mean by that is for you watching the show. If you're not already just go join the membership program and become a member of Saturation by visiting saturationnews.com. You can get on a lot of things by joining our membership program. It's free, it's great, and it helps me feel like I'm actually doing something. So please go through, do that. I'm gonna go right now and get the live resources State of the Union. And maybe I can paste it in the chat, but I really can't. So we're just going to show how to access it. Yes. So this is saturationnews.com. Go to saturationnews.com/State of the Union bingo. We'll leave this up on the screen for a short amount of time. Okay, I'm back. Technical difficulties as usual. Gray, did you turn off your microphone? It looks like you did turn off your microphone because I cannot hear you. Or maybe I did something stupid. Hold on.
No, I muted it. What'd you do?
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. I muted mine.
Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to visit saturationnews.com/bingo. I'm going to be making it appear on your screen right now. That way people can actually see how to access this because it's going to be hard to access. So visit the URL on your screen to access the bingo chart. It is going to be a fantastic experience. Watch the bingo chart. Enjoy the bingo chart. And we'll see.
Praise the bingo chart.
Yes, praise the bingo chart.
For some dang good food.
What's some good food?
Jumpin' Jays. Chicken.
I've never been there. At all.
Highly recommend.
So I'm actually sending out this horrendous creation to some friends. We'll see how this goes. But yeah, visit that link. You got to get the chart. The coverage should fully resume momentarily with the State of the Union broadcast starting incredibly soon. Actually, curious, Gray, could you do the honors of clicking the share your screen and selecting a tab, and could you bring up Twitter and just look at what's going on Twitter?
I'll bring up Twitter first.
Okay, you do that. I want us to see if we can get a screen on what's going on Twitter as the entire thing happens. Become the bingo chart. Yes. Yes.
Become the bingo chart.
Yes. Yes, chat. This has become a really interesting thing because surprisingly, most of our comments are coming through Twitch and it's not even through my channel.
It's all Bryce, bro.
Yes. I wonder if our YouTube channel could just get a follow of Saturation News. I'd love to get a follow. Maybe some shares online on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Doubt it.
Okay, let's see. What do you want me to look at?
What do I want you to look at? Just look at hashtag. What is it? SCTU 2022.
You mean Sodu?
Well, I'll put it on the screen. How about that? With that,
State
with
of the
that,
Union address.
yes, State of the Union address.
Okay, I got it. I'm just gonna. Okay, I got it. Here we go. I think that's working. Give me a test on that.
Okay, let me just make sure I have the things configured properly for it. So let's get that's definitely not how we want it to go. Did you share a screen?
I did.
Oh, I have to turn it on. Okay, so what we're going to be doing as this progresses actually is we're going to end up I can switch the screens around. That's good. So we can go back and forth when we do the full coverage. Okay, great. So I'm going to let you just take it from the top and show us what are people on Twitter discussing?
All right. Well, Wall Street Journal's all over Jill.
We like to see what the people have to say, not what MSNBC has to say.
Oh yeah, these are all just what? Okay.
Just politicians.
Yeah,
And
these
news
are all
outlets.
just what in the world? Yeah, that is it's a picture and a half. Let's see. Oh. All of these are just politicians. What in the world? Oh, there's something interesting.
What is that?
Confirmed, President Biden will announce tonight during his State of the Union address that the U.S. is banning Russian aircraft from U.S. airspace, joining a growing number of countries closing their skies to Russia following Putin's ongoing invasion of Ukraine.
You know, I will say that I'm upset about that we did not put one thing on our lovely bingo chart, and that was probably the one thing we probably should have put on a bingo chart.
What?
Airspace.
Oh, well.
We did not put airspace on our entire bingo chart.
Basically the same thing, banning Aeroflot.
Yeah.
There's basically a bunch of just actual politicians spreading their propaganda.
Yep, and a lot of it.
A lot of news sources and so this was you know what we need to see? How late is he going to be for the State of the Union?
Well, you know, he's probably not going to be up that late because he is a very older president, so he's probably not going to be up that late.
That's right. But I also wonder how long it's going to take him to start.
To start?
Like how long is it going to take for them to mic him up so that they can feed him his lines? How long is it going to take for that to happen?
Yes, indeed.
This is interesting on the right side. What's happening panel? Pornhub remains accessible in Russia following invasion of Ukraine, according to fact checkers. I don't know why that's important, but
I don't think that is at all important.
Hey, it's the people though.
It is.
What? It's going to take him 30 minutes for him to actually process the lines. He's going to be stood there like this.
This is going to be the State of the Union, okay? Okay. So allow me just to do the quick countdown of how I expect it to go at the beginning, okay? We'll play the clip. Attention, my fellow Americans. Today, I have came to tell you how I do everything perfectly, and how the previous predecessor has failed at everything in life, and how I am the saving grace, and the only reason why Russia has not invaded Ukraine is because I am president, and I am Joseph R. Biden.
More follow-up questions. All right, let's just I'll try and find some more of the people's opinions.
Okay, well, that whole idea of making a comedy act completely went out the window. So what we have here now is
Oh, important news. It looks like Jill is actually taking her seat.
Jill's taking a seat.
Yes,
I'm
Jill
I'm gonna see if the State of the Union has started with C-SPAN. It looks like they have started their live coverage. I will let everyone know we are using C-SPAN because it's when we have the rights to use. It looks
C-SPAN's
like
awesome.
it looks like it's beginning. We are switching it to this tab now.
Madam Speaker, the President's Cabinet.
It looks like his cabinet just arrived. They seem so happy.
Can they get anything other than 7 FPS? like how crappy do the cameras have to be? And how bad does the Wi-Fi have to be?
If you look to the right, you just saw Supreme Court Judge Amy. You just saw her, Barnett. I don't want to say Peoples. But there she is on the right side, and then Kavanaugh is also on the right side as well.
Yep.
Look straight ahead. You'll see well, not to your left. You'll see Lauren Boebert, the congresswoman from Colorado. I don't know who he is.
No.
But he looks to be very happy.
He does.
What's with all the yellow suits? Are they wearing stuff for Ukraine?
I assume that's what the yellow and blue is for.
I would assume so as well. Which is at least nice to see we have a Ukrainian flag as well at the State of the Union.
How do you get negative frames in a video?
Well, that is a very interesting thing. I would put that we are using C-SPAN, but it literally says C-SPAN on the thing. But it looks like I'm going to have to because I'm crazy. So here we go. Here's the footage. C-SPAN. C-SPAN is all the rights to this footage. I highlight that. I say it well. So we got the bingo graph.
Is that Obama? Out. I'm just kidding.
That is not Obama.
It just kind of looked like Michelle's head. Like the top of her head.
Yeah.
What in the world?
Is that
Mitt Romney?
Is that Mitt?
No, it's not.
Wow, that camera is horrible. Like, look how it's like slightly. It must be far away. You can also see on all the Supreme Court justices were just there on the right.
Is it moving smooth for you?
It's kind of. It is moving smooth for me, but it's. Well, I'm looking at the direct footage. You're looking at what everybody else is seeing. And it is not that pretty.
Yeah. Oh, who is that guy on the right?
Here, let me try removing some things. Let's try getting our faces off, possibly. Maybe that will help. Can I do that? I'm gonna turn off my camera. Maybe you should as well. That may help us with a little bit of this lag. Is it gonna do anything? No, it's not.
No.
It's called live streaming technology. It's fantastic. I'm gonna just close some tabs on the computer that this is running off of, and maybe that will fix the issue for you guys.
Oh, wait. It's starting to get better.
Yeah, it looks like it got as good as it's gonna get, and
My people keep trying to bother me.
why is she wearing a black dress that matches the color of wood? I mean, don't get me wrong, but I didn't even know you could buy a color of brown that matches wood as a dress. Ted Cruz is there. We have a lot of support for the Ukrainian people. There was a lot of people believing that Joe Biden would come out and say something about Ukraine.
There's Amy.
There she is. And in the future, I'll try to get this video stuff worked on, because it's different on my end. Really different on my end. Hopefully what people are actually seeing is more of what I'm seeing. If you're watching this live, please let me know how bad the quality is on your end by putting it in the comments.
Well, Bryce already said, how do you even get negative frames on a video?
Well,
So obviously it's not great on my Twitch either.
well, it's copying it over to your Twitch. Is anyone actually watching it on like Saturation's website or anything like through my
Oh,
Saturation?
yeah, that's a better idea.
Let me just go up to my feed, see how it looks. Oh no, it's not doing any difference. In fact, well, Gray, goodbye. Look, I'm trying to show my phone so you can see how it's working, and it's like barely going through properly.
Yeah.
Um,
I just followed you on Twitter.
You followed me on Twitter. That's concerning. So we've had a total of 2 people watch this from your channel. Wow. Just wow.
They're usually used to me playing games.
Now they're like, wow, he's on a news. Why is he watching the State of the Union?
I can't afford C-SPAN.
Wait. What are you saying? Can't afford C-SPAN. So this is a public channel. It's
Hey, there
free.
was the traitor.
What do you mean by traitor?
That general who sold us out to the Chinese. Of course,
Oh,
that's
you talking about Miley over
of
the
course,
thing?
that's only speculation. It hasn't been proven yet. But I can have my own opinion. Is the sound coming through? Are they saying anything?
I brought it down because if I bring it up, this is what you're gonna hear.
Well,
It sounds like a high school hallway.
Look, watch this, watch this. My camera's in focus.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go back here. Or over here, and it's not.
That's amazing. Truly amazing. So, I hope people are enjoying this live stream because I just wanted an excuse to use this technology.
Oh, who is this?
Who's this?
It's some old white lady. I don't know. I don't know her name.
Madam
Who's
Speaker,
banging?
the President of the United States.
Oh, here he comes.
The president is entering the room.
There he is.
Joe
There's Mr.
Biden
Joe.
has entered the State of the Union.
He kind of just looks like a toddler in a Burger King play place right now. That woman's face, I'm sorry, but, you know. She was putting
When
it right in the
Biden's
camera.
when Biden's sitting down and the cameras aren't changing, we should get a lot better video quality. At least that's what I'm hoping for.
Hopefully. Once everybody stops moving and lagging the footage.
You know, I haven't seen one person blink in this entire video.
Probably because the frames line up with their blinks, dude.
That is probably sadly the truth. Sadly. He seems very healthy, like they put a bunch of makeup on him. Like they do with every president.
And it appears he doesn't have an earpiece, but they haven't shown the left side of his face yet, so I don't know.
Does he have a cane?
I don't know.
I can't rewind it, but I swear.
Oh, he just shook General Miley Cyrus's hand.
Okay, we do see not everybody wearing masks as, you know, Capitol.
Oh, he's starting to run. Oh, God. Where's he going? Don't break a hip.
So, I wonder if Nancy Pelosi has water back there or rum.
He does. He's like 4 cups right there, bro. What is that?
What is this? His new version of Build Back Better? The real question is Nancy gonna whip it down the front?
Yeah. Is she gonna...
Members of Congress, I have the high privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you the President of the United States.
Woot woot. Joey. Maybe if you turn the quality down, the frames might get better.
That's what I was trying. Well...
Thank you.
It's almost smoother than butter.
Thank you all very much. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you. Please. Thank you so much. Madam Speaker, Madam Vice President, our First Lady and Second Gentleman, members of Congress and the Cabinet, Justice of the Supreme Court, my fellow Americans. Last year, COVID-19 kept us apart.
Hold on.
This year,
Hold on.
we're
That's
finally
one.
together again. Tonight, we meet as Democrats, Republicans, and Independents, but most importantly, as Americans, with the duty to one another, to America, to the American people, to the Constitution, and an unwavering resolve that freedom will always triumph over tyranny.
Pelosi kind of looks like the Joker back there. No hate, but... Ooh.
Yeah, kind of.
With her smile going way out here. Yo, Bryce, what is
6 days ago, Russia's Vladimir Putin sought to shake the very foundations of the free world, thinking he could make it bend to his menacing ways.
So that's
But he
another
badly
word that we thought he'd
miscalculated.
say.
He thought he could roll into Ukraine and the world would roll over. Instead, he met with a wall of strength he never anticipated or imagined. He met the Ukrainian people.
Okay. I like where this is going.
I do too. Seems very, very well done so far.
He's doing pretty good.
Zelensky,
Very good.
to every Ukrainian, their fear
And the camera's working now, I think.
literally
Yes.
inspires the world. Groups of citizens blocking tanks with their bodies. Everyone from students to retirees to teachers turned soldiers defending their homeland. And in this struggle, President Zelensky said in his speech to the European Parliament, "Light will win over darkness." The Ukrainian ambassador to the United States is here tonight, sitting with the First Lady. Let each of us, if you're able to stand and send an unmistakable signal to the world of Ukraine. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She's bright, she's strong, she's resolved.
So just to go over, he has said the following words on his last couple of statements.
Yes.
He's mentioned Ukraine.
We, the United
He's mentioned
States of America,
Putin.
stand with the Ukrainian people. Throughout our history, we've learned this lesson. When dictators do not pay a price for their aggression, they cause more chaos. They keep moving, and the cost, the threats to America and America to the world keeps rising. That's why the NATO alliance was created, to secure peace and stability in Europe after World War II. The United States
This
is a
is
member,
actually a very
along with
good speech.
29 other nations.
Yes.
It matters. American diplomacy matters. American resolve matters. Putin's latest attack on Ukraine was premeditated and totally unprovoked. He rejected repeated efforts at diplomacy.
It's almost as if
He
he's
thought the West
practiced.
and NATO wouldn't respond.
Yes.
He thought he could divide us at home, in this chamber, in this nation. He thought he could divide us in Europe as well. But Putin was wrong. We are ready. We are united, and that's what we did. We stayed united. We prepared extensively and carefully. We spent months building coalitions of other freedom-loving nations in Europe and the Americas, from America to the Asian and African continents, to confront Putin. Like many of you, I spent countless hours unifying our European allies. We shared with the world in advance what we knew Putin was planning and precisely how we would try to falsify and justify his aggression. We countered Russia's lies with the truth. And now that he's acted, the free world is holding him accountable, along with 27 members of the European Union, including France, Germany, Italy, as well as countries like the United Kingdom, Canada, Japan, Korea, Australia, New Zealand, and many others. Even Switzerland are inflicting pain on Russia and supporting the people of Ukraine. Putin is now isolated from the world more than he has ever been.
All of
Together-
Russia is
There's
isolated
Putin.
more than- What?
Together,
He said
I see.
Putin.
See the live stream.
Oh, now the frames have gone back to sucking.
I think it's because there's so
together,
much
along
movement.
with our allies, we are right
Yeah.
now enforcing powerful economic sanctions. We're cutting off Russia's largest banks in the international financial system, preventing Russia's central bank from defending the Russian ruble, making Putin's $630 billion war fund worthless. We're choking Russia's access. We're choking Russia's access to technology that will sap its economic strength and weaken its military. for
Apple
years
did
to
just
come.
go through and
Tonight,
did
I say
decide
the
to
Russian
ban the sales of
oligarchs and
Apple
corrupt
products
leaders
there as
who
well.
built billions of dollars off this violent regime, no more. The United States, I mean it. The United States Department of Justice is assembling a dedicated task force to go after the crimes of the Russian oligarchs. We're joining with European allies to find and seize their yachts, their luxury apartments, their private jets. We're coming for your ill-begotten gains. And tonight, we will in closing off all Russian flights, further isolating Russia and adding additional squeeze on their economy. He has no idea what's coming. The ruble has already lost 30% of its value. The
Dang.
Russian stock market has lost
Bitcoin
40%
is
of
actually
its
now
value,
higher
and trading
than
remains
the Russian
suspended.
ruble.
The Russian economy is reeling, and Putin alone is the one to blame.
But if
Together
they
with
do
our allies,
cryptocurrency,
we're
Biden,
providing support
they're
to the Ukrainians
they're
in
going to
their
be
fight for
saved
freedom.
because Bitcoin value has
Military
doubled,
assistance,
like up
economic assistance,
20%.
humanitarian assistance. We're giving more than $1 billion of direct assistance to Ukraine, and
Okay.
we'll continue to
I
aid
just
Ukrainian
fact-checked
people
it.
as they defend their country
Okay.
and help
He's
ease
dead
their
on.
suffering.
So one Russian ruble, like $1 used to be equivalent, is now $0.0089 US dollars.
Our forces are not engaged and will not engage in the conflict with Russian forces in Ukraine. Our forces are not going to Europe to fight Ukraine, but to defend our NATO allies in the event that Putin decides
to fight
keep
Ukraine.
moving west. For that purpose, we have mobilized American ground forces, air squadrons, ship deployments to protect NATO countries including Poland, Romania, Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. And as I've made crystal clear, the United States and our allies will defend every inch of territory that is NATO territory with the full force of our collective power. Every single inch.
As you can see from these statements, the people who are wearing the Ukraine outfits are not very happy with Putin. I mean, not Putin.
And we're
I mean, with
clear-eyed.
Biden.
The
They
Ukrainians
don't
are
really seem
fighting
to have
back
that
with
happy
pure
of faces.
courage. But the next few days, weeks, and months will be hard on them. Putin has unleashed violence and chaos. But while he may make gains on the battlefield, he'll pay a continuing high price over the long run. And a pound of Ukrainian people, the proud, proud people, pound for pound, ready to fight with every inch of energy they have. They've known 30 years of independence, have repeatedly shown that they will not tolerate anyone who tries to take their country backwards. To all Americans, I'll be honest with you, as I always promised I would be. A Russian dictator invading a foreign country has cost around the world. And I'm taking robust action to make sure the pain of our sanctions is targeted at the Russian economy and that we use every tool at our disposal to protect American businesses and consumers. Tonight, I can announce the United States has worked with 30 other countries to release 60 million barrels of oil from reserves around the world. America will lead that effort, releasing 30 million barrels of our own strategic petroleum reserve. And we stand ready to do more if necessary, united with our allies. These steps will help blunt gas prices here at home, but I know news about what's
Or
happening
building
can
a
seem alarming
pipeline.
to all Americans.
You know, that could
But I
also
want
help
you
us
to
lower
know
gas prices.
we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. When the history of this era is written, Putin's war in Ukraine will have left Russia weaker and the rest of the world stronger. While it shouldn't,
He's doing great, other than a few fumbles, but you know everybody does that.
while it shouldn't have taken something so
there's the
terrible for
turtle.
people around the world to see what's at stake, now everyone sees it clearly. We see the unity among leaders of nations, a more unified Europe, a more unified West. We see unity among the people who are gathering in cities and large crowds around the world, even in Russia, to demonstrate their support for the people of Ukraine. In the battle between democracy and
getting shot for it,
autocracies,
too.
democracies are rising to the moment.
What you
And
got
the
there?
world is clearly choosing the side of peace and security. This is the real test, and it's going to take time. So let us continue to draw inspiration from the iron will of the Ukrainian people. To our fellow Ukrainian Americans who forged the deep bond that connects our two nations, we stand with you. We stand with you. Putin may circle Kyiv with tanks, but he'll never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people. He'll never extinguish their love of freedom, and he will never, never weaken the resolve of the free world.
I mean, so far this sounds like a speech from World War II. This sounds like a.
It's incredibly well written. I'm
yeah.
honestly wondering if he did it.
We meet tonight
Probably.
in an America that has
Really-
lived through
really good written.
two of the hardest years this nation has ever faced. The pandemic has been punishing, and so many families are living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to keep up with the rising cost of food, gas, housing, and so much more. I understand, like many of you did. My dad had to leave his home in Scranton, Pennsylvania to find work. So like many of you, I grew up in a family when the price of food went up, it was felt throughout the family. It had an impact. That's when one of the first things I did as president was fight to pass the American Rescue Plan. Because people were hurting. We needed to act, and we did. Few pieces of legislation have done more at a critical moment in our history to lift us out of a crisis. It fueled our efforts to vaccinate the nation and combat COVID-19.
There, another one that we said he would go through and do.
Of Americans.
Yeah.
It helped put food on the table. Remember those long lines of cars waiting for hours just to get a box of food put in their trunk? It cut the cost of health care insurance. And as my dad used to say, it gave the people just a little bit of breathing room. Unlike the $2 trillion tax cut passed in the previous administration that benefited the top 1% of Americans, the American Rescue Plan helped working people and left no one behind.
That tells you what people think. A lot of people do not like it, and they made that incredibly clear tonight. Made that incredibly clear.
And it worked.
Incredibly clear they did not like that rescue plan.
Yeah. It was a straight attack at the Republicans right there. And they proved they did not appreciate that.
Exactly.
We created jobs, lots of jobs. In fact, our economy created over 6.5 million new jobs just last year. More jobs in 1 year than ever before in the history of the United States of America. The economy grew at a rate of 5.7 last year, the strongest growth rate in 40 years. And the first step in bringing fundamental change to our economy that hasn't worked for
How many did he say?
McConnell looks so upset. 40 years, I believe.
Told the tax break for those at the top and benefits would trickle down and everyone would benefit. But that trickle-down theory led to a weaker economic growth, lower wages, bigger deficits, and a widening gap.
Well, yeah,
between
there's
the
more
top
jobs because people
and
aren't
everyone else
working.
in nearly a century. Look,
Someone just yelled,
President
"That's
Harris and I
white,
ran
guys."
for office, and I realize we have
That's
fundamental
right,
disagreements on
guys.
this, but ran for office with a new economic
Oh,
vision
that's
for
white, guys.
Invest in
I
America.
didn't say that.
Educate
Oh,
I
America.
said white. R-I-G-H-T.
Build the
Yeah, it
economy
still
from
sounds
the
like you're
bottom
saying
up and
white.
middle out, not from the top down, because we know
Amen, brother. Yeah. Sit down, purple dress. Let him speak.
because
You
we
gonna
know
rip this
when the
speech
middle
up too?
class grows, when the middle class grows, the poor have a way up. And
Oh,
the
middle
wealthy
class.
do very well.
Yes,
Bingo
America
sheet.
used to have the best roads, bridges, and airports on earth, and now
I already got it.
our infrastructure is ranked 13th in the world.
Did
Won't
he
be able to
say
compete for the jobs of the 21st century.
infrastructure?
That's why it was so important.
We did not put that on the list.
That's Buttigieg.
And I thank my Republican
Did he say
friends
Build Back Better?
who
He
joined
did. He did earlier.
to invest and rebuild America,
Oh,
So-
the single biggest investment in history. It was a bipartisan effort, and I want to thank the members of both parties who worked to make it happen. We're done talking about infrastructure weeks. We're now talking about an infrastructure decade. And look, it's going to transform America, to put us on a path to win the economic competition of the 21st century that we face with the rest of the world, particularly China. I told Xi Jinping, it's never been a good bet to bet against the American people. We'll create good jobs for millions of Americans, modernizing roads, airports, ports, waterways, all across America. And we'll do it to withstand the devastating effects of climate change and promote environmental justice. We'll build a national network of 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations. Begin to replace the poisonous lead pipes so every child, every American has clean water to drink at home and at school. We're going to provide affordable, high-speed internet for every American, rural, suburban, urban, and tribal communities. 4,000 projects
His
have already
PC
been
guy,
announced.
his
Many
PC
of
died,
you
guys.
announced them in
So
your
we are
districts.
in
And
it.
tonight, I'm announcing that this year, we will start fixing over 65,000 miles of highway and 1,500 bridges in disrepair. Folks,
He's doing very good. I'll give him that.
when we use taxpayers' dollars to rebuild America, we're going to do it by buying American. Buy American products. Support American jobs.
Get our jobs back, Joe.
The federal government spends about $600 billion a year to keep this country safe and secure. There's been a law on the books for almost a century to make sure taxpayers' dollars support American jobs and businesses. Every administration, Democrat and Republican, says they'll do it, but we're actually doing it. We'll buy America to make sure everything from the deck of an aircraft carrier to the steel on highway guardrails is made in America from beginning to end. All of it. All of it. But folks, to compete for the jobs of the future, we also need a level playing field with China and other competitors. That's why it's so important
Like who?
to pass the Bipartisan Innovation Act.
China is literally our
that will
only
make record
competitor.
investments in emerging technologies and American manufacturing. We used to invest almost 2% of our GDP in research and development. We don't now. China is. Let me give you one example why it's so important to pass. If you travel 20 miles east of Columbus, Ohio, you'll find 1,000 empty acres of land. It won't look like much, but if you stop and look closely, you'll see a field of dreams. The ground on which America's future will be built.
Okay, I am not sure
That's
what
Intel,
happened.
the
Can you
American
hear me,
company
Greg?
that helped build
Yes.
Silicon Valley, is going to build
Can you hear
a
me, Greg?
$20 billion
Yes, affirmative.
semiconductor
So-
site. Up to 8 state-of-the-art factories in one place. 10,000 new jobs. And in those factories, the average job about
Affirmative.
$135,000 a year. Some of the most sophisticated manufacturing in the world to make computer chips the size.
Okay, so you can hear me. Can you say something then?
The power of the world.
Hello?
in everyday lives.
Oh,
From
great.
smartphones,
Fantastic.
technology,
Fantastic.
the internet,
I think I see the
technology
issue.
that's yet to be invented.
He was talking about a field of dreams in Ohio,
Intel
and
CEO Pat Gelsinger, who's here tonight. I don't
Someone's
know
gonna
who
make
he
a
is.
collage of
There you
me
go, Pat.
and this audio not working. I already know it.
they're clapping for some dude. I didn't hear. Your big mouth.
Pat came to see me, and he told me they're ready to increase their investment from $20 billion to $100 billion. That would be the biggest investment in manufacturing in American history. And all they're waiting for is for you to pass this bill. So let's not wait any longer. Send it to my desk. I'll sign it. And we'll really take off in a big way. And folks, Intel is not alone. There's something happening in America. Just look around and you'll see an amazing story. The rebirth of pride that comes from stamping products made in America. The revitalization of American manufacturing. Companies are choosing to build new factories here when just a few years ago they would have gone overseas. That's what's happening. Ford is investing $11 billion in electric vehicles, creating 11,000 jobs across the country. GM is making the largest investment in its history, $7 billion to build electric vehicles, creating 4,000 jobs in Michigan. All told, 369,000 new manufacturing jobs were created in America last year alone.
They even got the little kid.
Powered by people I've met like JoJo Burgess from generations of union steelworkers in Pittsburgh, who's here tonight. Where are you, JoJo? There you go. Thanks, buddy. As Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown says, Sherrod Brown says it's time to bury the label Rust Belt.
Yes.
It's time to see
Yes.
the-
Yes.
what used to be called the Rust Belt become the,
Well,
the home.
It does look like we are having some good things going on here.
Resurgence of manufacturing. And with all
Seems
the
to be
bright
putting a very
spots in
pro-manufacturing
our
speech.
economy, record job growth, higher wages, too many families are struggling to keep up with their bills. Inflation is robbing them of gains they thought otherwise they would be able to feel. I get it. That's why my top priority is getting prices under control. Look, our economy roared back faster than almost anyone predicted. But the pandemic meant that businesses had a hard time hiring enough people because of the pandemic to keep up production in their factories. So you didn't have people making those beams that went into buildings because they were out. The factory was closed. The panic also disrupted the global supply chain. Factories close. When that happens, it takes longer to
Testing.
make goods and
Testing.
get them to the warehouses, to the
Testing.
stores, and prices go up. Look at cars last year. One-third of all the inflation was because of automobile sales. There weren't enough semiconductors to make all the cars that people wanted to buy. And guess what?
Testing.
Prices of automobiles went
So
way
yeah,
up.
it does look like a lot of stuff's going
Especially
on.
used vehicles as well. And so we have a choice.
Our co-guest will be back.
One way to fight inflation is to drive down wages and make
Horrible,
Americans poor.
horrifying internet
I think I have a
issues at
better
the
idea
time.
to fight inflation.
Stuff just keeps going in and
Lower
out.
your costs, not your wages.
He'll be back in a second. We need internet in the studio, I swear.
That means make more cars and semiconductors in America, more infrastructure and innovation in America, more goods moving faster and cheaper in America, more jobs where you can earn a good living in America. Instead of relying on foreign supply chains, let's make it in America. Look, economists call this increasing the productive capacity of our economy. I call it building a better America. My plan to fight inflation will lower your costs and lower the deficit. 17 Nobel laureates in economics said my plan will ease long-term inflationary pressures. Top business leaders, and I believe most Americans support the plan. And here's the plan. First, cut the cost of prescription drugs. We pay more for the same drug produced by the same company in America than any other country in the world. Just look at insulin. 1 in 10 Americans has diabetes. In Virginia, I met a 13-year-old boy, the handsome young man standing up there, Joshua Davis. He and his dad both have type 1 diabetes, which means they need insulin every single day. Insulin costs about $10 a vial to make. That's what it costs the pharmaceutical company. But drug companies charge families like Joshua and his dad up to 30 times that amount. I spoke with Joshua's mom. Imagine what it's like to look at your child who needs insulin to stay healthy and have no idea how in God's name you're going to be able to pay for it. What it does to your family, but what it does to your dignity, your ability to look your child in the eye, to be the parent you expect yourself to be. I really mean to think about that. That's what I think about. You know, yesterday, Joshua's here tonight, but yesterday was his birthday. Happy birthday, buddy, by the way. For Joshua and 200,000 other young people with type 1 diabetes, let's cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month. so everyone can afford it. And drug companies will do very, very well, their profit margin. While we're at it, I know we have great disagreements on this floor with this. Let's let Medicare negotiate the price of prescription drugs. They already set the price for VA drugs. Look, the American Rescue Plan is helping millions of families with Affordable Care Act plans to save them $2,400 a year on their health premiums. Let's close the coverage gap and make these savings permanent. And second, let's cut energy costs for families, an average of $500 a year by combating climate change. Let's provide an investment tax credits to weatherize your home and your business, to be energy efficient and get a tax credit for it. Double America's clean energy production in solar, wind, and so much more. Lower the price of electric vehicles, saving another $80 a month that you're not going to have to pay at the pump. Folks, the third thing we can do to change the standard of living for hardworking folks is cut the cost of child care. Cut the cost of child care. Folks, if you live in a major city in America, you pay up to $14,000 a year for child care per child. I was a single dad for 5 years, raising 2 kids. I had a lot of help, though. I had a mom, a dad, a brother, and a sister that really helped. But middle class and working folks shouldn't have to pay more than 7% of their income to care for the young children. My plan would cut the cost of child care in half for most families and help parents, including millions of women who left the workforce during the pandemic because they couldn't afford child care, to be able to get back to work, generating economic growth. But my plan doesn't stop there. It also includes home and long-term care, more affordable housing, pre-K for 3- and 4-year-olds. All these will lower costs to families. And under my plan, nobody, let me say this again, nobody earning less than $400,000 a year will pay an additional penny in new taxes. Not a single penny. I may be wrong, but my guess is if we took a secret ballot in this floor, that we'd all agree that the present tax system ain't fair. We have to fix it. I'm not looking to punish anybody, but let's make corporations and wealthy Americans start paying their fair share. Look, last year, and like Chris Coons and Tom Carper and my distinguished Congresswoman, we come from the land of corporate America. There are more corporations incorporated in America than every other state in America combined. And I still won 36 years in a row. The point is, even they understand they should pay just a fair share. Last year, 55 of the Fortune 500 companies earned $40 billion in profit and paid 0 in federal taxes. Now look, it's not fair. That's why I proposed a 15% minimum tax rate for corporations. And that's why in the G7 and other meetings overseas, I was able to be somewhat helpful. 130 countries agree on a global minimum tax rate. So companies can't get out of paying their taxes at home by shipping jobs and factories overseas. It'll raise billions of dollars. That's why I propose closing loopholes for the very wealthy who pay a lower tax rate than a teacher and a firefighter. So that's my plan, but we'll go in more detail later. We will grow the economy, lower the cost of families. So what are we waiting for? Let's get this done. We all know we've got to make changes. Folks, and while you're at it, confirm my nominees for the Federal Reserve, which plays a critical role in fighting inflation. My plan will not only lower costs and give families a fair shot, it will lower the deficit. The previous administration not only ballooned the deficit with those tax cuts for the very wealthy and corporations, it undermined the watchdogs, the job of those to keep pandemic relief funds being wasted. Remember we had those debates about whether or not those watchdogs should be able to see every day how much money was being spent, where was it going to the right place? But in my administration, the watchdogs are back. And we're going to go after the criminals who stole billions of relief money meant for small business and millions of Americans. Tonight, I'm announcing that the Justice Department will soon name a chief prosecutor for pandemic fraud. And look, I think we all agree, thank you. By the end of this year, the deficit will be down to less than half of what it was before I took office. The only president ever to cut the deficit by more than $1 trillion in a single year. Lowering your cost also meant demanding more competition. I'm a capitalist, but capitalism without competition is not capitalism. Capitalism without competition is exploitation. It drives up profits. And corporations have to compete. Their profits go up and your prices go up when they don't have to compete. Small businesses and family farmers and ranchers, I need not tell some of my Republican friends from those states. Guess what? You got 4 basic meat packing facilities. That's it. You play with them or you don't get to play at all. And you pay a hell of a lot more. A hell of a lot more because there's only 4. See what's happening with ocean carriers moving goods in and out of America. During the pandemic, about half a dozen or less foreign-owned companies raised prices by as much as 1,000% and made record profits. Tonight, I'm announcing a crackdown on those companies overcharging American businesses and consumers. And folks, and as Wall Street firms take over more nursing homes, quality in those homes has gone down and costs have gone up. That ends on my watch. Medicare is going to set higher standards for nursing homes and make sure your loved ones get the care they deserve and that they inspect and they will look at closely. We're also going to cut costs to keep the economy going strong and giving workers a fair shot, provide more training and apprenticeships, hire them based on skills, not just their degrees. Let's pass the Paycheck Fairness Act and paid leave. Raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour and extend the child tax credit so no one has to raise a family in poverty. Let's increase Pell Grants, increase our historic support for HBCUs, and invest.
So now he's talking about colleges, basically, and education. So he's going to do his college debt stuff, and how he thinks we should invest in community colleges and such. That's what he's talking about right now.
When the majority of workers want to form a union, they shouldn't be able to be stopped. When we invest in our workers and we build an economy from the bottom up and the middle out together, we can do something we haven't done in a long time. Build a better America. For more than 2 years, COVID has impacted every decision in our lives and the life of this nation. And I know you're tired, frustrated, and exhausted. That doesn't even count the close to 1 million people who sit at a dining room table or a kitchen table and look at an empty chair because they lost somebody. But I also know this, because of the progress we've made, because of your resilience and the tools that we have been provided by this Congress, tonight I can say we're moving forward safely back to more normal routines. We've reached a new moment in the fight against COVID-19. Cases are not seen in July of last year. Just a few days ago, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention issued a new mask guidelines. Under the new guidelines, most Americans and most of the country can now go mask-free And based on projections, more of the country will reach that point across the next couple of weeks. And thanks to the progress we've made in the past year, COVID-19 no longer need control our lives. I know some are talking about living with COVID-19, but tonight I say that we never will just accept living with COVID-19. We'll continue to combat the virus as we do other diseases. And because this virus mutates and spreads, we have to stay on guard. And here are 4 common sense steps as we move forward safely, in my view. First, stay protected with vaccines and treatments. We know how incredibly effective vaccines are. If you're vaccinated and boosted, you have the highest degree of protection. We'll never give up on vaccinating more Americans. Now, I know parents with kids under 5 are eager to see their vaccines authorized for their children. Scientists are working hard to get that done. We'll be ready with plenty of vaccines if and when they do. We're all ready. We are also ready with antiviral treatments. If you get COVID-19, the Pfizer pill reduces your chances of ending up in the hospital by 90%. I've ordered more pills than anyone in the world has. Pfizer is working overtime to get us 1 million pills this month and more than double that next month. And now we're launching the Test to Treat initiative. So people can get tested at a pharmacy, and if they prove positive, receive the antiviral pills on the spot at no cost. And folks, if you're immunocompromised or have some other vulnerability, we have treatments and free high-quality masks. We're leaving no one behind or ignoring anyone's needs as we move forward. On testing, we've made hundreds of millions of tests available, and you can order them for free to your doorstep. And we've already ordered
He is
free
talking about
tests.
tests.
We
He
already
did get
ordered free
tests available.
tonight. I'm announcing you can order
A lot of tests.
another
You can get
group
them
of
through
tests.
a government
Go to
website.
covidtest.gov starting next week, and you can get more tests.
Okay, so they're doing another
Second,
round of
we must
tests that they're sending in the
prepare for
mail,
new variants.
even if they're saying
Over
that
the
it's being a
past, we've
COVID.
gotten much better
And now
at
he's
detecting
talking
new
about
variants.
new
If
variants.
necessary, we'll
Just
be
going to
able
continue
develop
coming.
new vaccines within 100 days instead of maybe months or years. And if Congress provides the funds we need, we'll have new stockpiles of tests, masks, pills ready
He is
if
right.
needed.
He wants Congress to get
I
more
can't
money
promise a new
for
variant
this
won't come,
pandemic and other
but I
pandemics. So
can
the
promise
pandemic
you
is almost over.
we'll do everything within our power to be ready if it does. Third, we can end the shutdown of schools and businesses. We have the tools we need. It's time for America to get back to work and fill our great downtowns again with people. People working from home can feel safe and begin to return to their offices. We're doing that here in the federal government. The vast majority of federal workers will once again work in person. Our schools are open. Let's keep it that way. Our kids need to be in school. With 75% of adult
Okay.
Americans fully vaccinated.
So we've not completed the bingo sheet. He's going on about
Hospitalization is down
COVID,
by 77%.
talking about how well he's handled it. We did
Most
expect
Americans
this.
can
It is on the
remove their
bingo
masks
sheet.
and stay in the classroom and move forward safely. We achieved this because we provided free vaccines, treatments, tests, and masks. Of course, continuing this costs money, so I'll not surprise you. I'll be back to see you all.
So if he says the
I'm gonna
words
soon send a request to
Afghanistan,
Congress. The vast
we
majority
will
of
have an
Americans
entire
have used these
whoa.
tools and may want again. We may need them again, so I expect Congress, and I hope you'll pass that quickly. Fourth, we'll continue vaccinating the world. We've sent 475 million vaccine doses to 112 countries, more than any nation on earth. We won't stop because you can't build a wall high enough to keep out a vaccine. The vaccine can stop the spread.
That was a
These
very
diseases.
big
Well,
sputter.
we've lost so much in COVID-19.
But we get what he's trying to say.
Time with one another. The worst of all, the loss of life. Let's use this moment to reset. So stop looking at COVID as a partisan dividing line. See it for what it is, a god-awful disease. Let's stop seeing each other as enemies and start seeing each other for who we are, fellow Americans. Look.
A lot of clapping.
We can't change how divided we've been. It was a long time in coming. But we can change how to move forward on COVID-19 and other issues that we must face together. I recently visited New York City Police Department days after the funerals of Officer Wilbur Mora and his partner, Officer Jason Rivera. They were responding to a 9/11 call when a man shot and killed them with a stolen gun. Officer Moore was 27 years old. Officer Rivera was 22 years old. Both Dominican Americans who grew up in the same streets that they later chose to patrol as police officers. I spoke with their families, and I told them that we were forever in debt for their sacrifices and will carry on their mission to restore the trust and safety of every community deserves. Like some of you that have been around for a while, I've worked with you on these issues for a long time. I know what works. Investigating crime prevention and community policing, cops who walk the beat, who know the neighborhood, and who can restore trust and safety. Let's not abandon our streets or choose between safety and equal justice. Let's come together and protect our communities, restore trust, and hold law enforcement accountable. That's why the Justice Department has required body cameras, banned chokeholds, and restricted no-knock warrants for its officers. That's why the American Rescue Plan that you all provided $350 billion that cities, states, and counties.
It looks like we have about
more police, invest in more
10 minutes hopefully left of this.
Proven strategies like community violence interruption, trusted messengers, breaking the cycle of violence and trauma, and giving young people some hope. We should all agree the answer is not to defund the police, it's to fund the police. Fund them. Fund them.
Good, he's saying to fund the police. That's it. This is the...
Fund them with resources and training.
Thank God he's saying that.
Resources and training they need to protect our communities.
Yes, we do need it black
I
and
ask
blue.
Democrats and Republicans alike to pass my budget and keep our neighborhoods safe.
Does the
We'll do
budget
everything
pass
in our
actually
power
do
to
that?
crack down on gun
What he's saying,
trafficking,
that's the truth.
of ghost guns that you can buy online, assemble at home, no serial numbers, can't be traced. I ask Congress to pass proven measures to reduce gun violence. Pass universal background checks. Why should anyone on the terrorist list be able to purchase a weapon? Why? Why? And folks, ban assault weapons with high-capacity magazines hold up to 100 rounds.
That is not
the deer
supported by the
people are
Constitution.
vests.
That is actually against the Constitution.
Look, repeal the liability shield. It makes gun
The
manufacturers
magazines
the
and stuff.
only industry in America that can't be sued. The only one.
They can be sued actually.
Had we done that
If
with the tobacco
the gun that
manufacturers.
has an issue and it fires
These laws
back
don't
at
infringe
someone,
on the Second Amendment.
that's
They
not a true
save
statement.
lives.
He just said.
The
Oh,
most
it is in a way.
fundamental
They do have a
right
lot
in
of
America is the right to vote
things that make it
and
so that it's
have it
harder to sue a
counted.
gun manufacturer.
And look, it's under assault.
And as you can see, they just showed
State
Lauren
after state,
Boebert
new
as
laws have been
who's
passed.
really large
Not only
at
suppress
gun
the
rights
vote, we've
as
been
he's
there
talking
before,
about that.
but to subvert the entire election. We can't let this happen. Tonight I call on the Senate to pass the Freedom to Vote Act, pass the John Lewis Act, Voting Rights Act. And while you're at it, pass the Disclose Act so Americans know who's funding our election. Look, tonight, I like to honor someone who dedicated his life to serve this country. Justice Breyer, an Army veteran, constitutional scholar, retiring Justice of the United States Supreme Court. Justice Breyer, thank you for your service. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean it.
Thank you.
Get up. Stand up and see you. Thank you. And we all know, no matter what your ideology, we all know one of the most serious constitutional responsibility a president has is nominating someone to serve on the United States Supreme Court. As I did 4 days ago, I've nominated the Circuit Court of Appeals, Ketanji Brown Jackson, one of our nation's top legal minds, who continue in Justice Breyer's legacy of excellence. A former top litigator in private practice, a former federal public defender, from a family of public school educators and police officers. She's a consensus builder. Since she's been nominated, she's received a broad range of support, including the Fraternal Order of Police and former judges supported by Democrats and Republicans. Folks, if we're to advance liberty and justice, we need to secure our border and fix the immigration system.
He's not going over securing the. He just said secure the border.
And as you might guess, I think we can do both. At our border, we've installed new technology like cutting-edge scanners to better detect drug smuggling. We've set up joint patrols with Mexico and Guatemala to catch more human traffickers. We're putting in place dedicated immigration judges and significant.
He just said they have to build a wall, basically.
Families fleeing persecution and
I was not
violence
expecting
can have
that.
their cases heard faster, and those who don't legitimately hear can be sent back. We're screening, we're securing commitments and supporting partners in South and Central America to host more refugees and secure their own borders. We can do all this while keeping lit the torch of liberty that has led a generation of immigrants to this land, my forebears and many of yours. Provide a pathway to citizenship for dreamers, those with temporary status, farm workers, essential workers. Revise our laws so businesses have workers they need and families don't wait decades to reunite. It's not only the right thing to do, it's economically smart thing to do. That's why the immigration reform is supported by everyone from labor unions to religious leaders to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Let's get it done once and for all. Folks, advancing liberty and justice also requires protecting the rights of women. The constitutional right affirmed by Roe v. Wade, standing precedent for half a century, is under attack as never before. If you want to go forward, not backwards, we must protect access to health care.
And now they're talking about abortion rights and saying that they need to protect abortion rights.
For all Americans.
And he's saying how they need to expand it. Okay.
And folks, for our
And this has
LGBTQ+
been, and now
Americans,
he's going to
let's
LGBTQ+.
finally get the
This has been
bipartisan
a
Equality
all
Act
over the
to my
place.
desk.
This has
The
been a complete
onslaught
all
of state
over the
laws
place
targeting
speech.
transgender Americans and their families. It's simply wrong. And I said last year, especially to our younger transgender Americans, I'll always have your back as your president so you can be yourself and reach your God-given potential. Folks, as I've just demonstrated, while it often appears we do not agree, and that we do agree on a lot more things than we acknowledge. I signed 80 bipartisan bills into law last year, from preventing government shutdowns, to protecting Asian Americans from still too common hate crimes, to reforming military justice, and will soon be strengthening the Violence Against Women Act that I first wrote 3 decades ago. And it's important. It's important for us to show the nation we can come together and do big things. So tonight I'm offering a unity agenda for the nation. 4 big things we can do together, in my view. First, open epidemic. So much we can do. Increase funding for prevention, treatment, harm reduction and recovery. Get rid of outdated rules and stop doctors stop doctors prescribing treatments. Stop the flow of illicit drugs by working with state and local law enforcement to go after the traffickers. And if you're suffering from addiction, you should know you're not alone. I believe in recovery, and I celebrate the 23 million Americans in recovery. Second, let's take on mental health, especially among our children whose lives and education have been turned upside down. The American Rescue Plan gave schools money to hire teachers and help students make up for lost learning. I urge every parent to make sure your school does just that. They have the money. We can all play a part. Sign up to be a tutor or a mentor. Children were also struggling before the pandemic: bullying, violence, trauma, and the harms of social media. As Frances Haugen, who is here tonight with us, has shown, we must hold social media platforms accountable for the national experiment they're conducting on our children for profit. Folks, thank you. Thank you for the courage you showed. It's time to strengthen privacy protections, ban targeted advertising to children, demand tech companies stop collecting personal data on our children, and let's get all Americans the mental health services they need. More people can turn for help and full parity between physical and mental health care if we treat it that way in our insurance. Look, the third piece of that agenda is support our veterans. Veterans are the backbone and the spine of this country. They're the best of us. I've always believed that we have a sacred obligation to equip those we send to war and care for those and their family when they come home. My administration is providing assistance in job training, housing, and now helping lower-income veterans get VA care debt-free. And our troops in Iraq and Afghanistan have faced many dangers, one being stationed at bases breathing in toxic smoke from burn pits. Many of you have been there. I've been in and out of Iraq and Afghanistan over 40 times. These burn pits that incinerate waste, the waste of war, medical and hazardous material, jet fuel, and so much more. And they come home, many of the world's fittest and best trained warriors in the world. Never the same. Headaches, numbness, dizziness. A cancer that would put them in a flag-draped coffin. I know. One of those soldiers was my son, Major Bo Biden. I don't know for sure if the burn pit that he lived near, that his hooch was near in Iraq and earlier than that in Kosovo, is the cause of his brain cancer, the disease of so many other troops. But I am committed to find out everything we can, committed to military families like Danielle Robinson from Ohio, the widow of Sergeant First Class Heath Robinson. He was born a soldier, Army National Guard, combat medic in Kosovo and Iraq, stationed near Baghdad, just yards from burn pits the size of football fields. Danielle is here with us tonight. They loved going to Ohio State football games. And he loved building Legos with their daughter. But cancer from prolonged exposure to burn pits ravaged Heath's lungs and body. Danielle says Heath was a fighter to the very end. He didn't know how to stop fighting, and neither did she. Through her pain, she found purpose to demand that we do better. Tonight, Danielle, we are going to do better. The VA The VA is pioneering new ways of linking toxic exposure to disease, already helping more veterans get benefits. And tonight, I'm announcing we're expanding eligibility to veterans suffering from 9 respiratory cancers. I'm also calling on Congress to pass a law to make sure veterans devastated by toxic exposure in Iraq and Afghanistan finally get the benefits and the comprehensive health care they deserve. And fourth and last, let's end cancer as we know it. This is personal. This is personal to me and to Jill and to Kamala and so many of you. So many of you have lost someone you love. Husband, wife, son, daughter, mom, dad. Cancer is the #2 cause of death in America, second only to heart disease. Last month, I announced the plan to supercharge the cancer moonshot that President Obama asked me to lead 6 years ago. Our goal is to cut cancer death rates by at least 50% over the next 25 years, and I think we can do better than that. Turn cancers from death sentences into treatable diseases. More support for patients and their families. To get there, I call on Congress to fund what I called ARPA-H, Advanced Research Projects Agency for Health, patterned after DARPA in the Defense Department, projects that led in DARPA to the internet, GPS, and so much more to make our forces more safer and be able to wage war with more clarity. ARPA will have a singular purpose: to drive breakthroughs in cancer, Alzheimer's and diabetes, and more. A unity agenda for the nation. We can do these things. It's within our power, and I don't see a partisan edge to any one of those 4 things. My fellow Americans, tonight, we've gathered in this sacred space, a citadel of democracy, in this Capitol. Generation after generation of Americans have debated great questions amid great strife and have done great things. We fought for freedom, expanded liberty, debated totalitarianism and terror. We built the strongest, freest, and most prosperous nation the world has ever known. Now is the hour, our moment of responsibility, our test of resolve and conscience, of history itself. It is in this moment that our character of this generation is formed. Our purpose is found. Our future is forged. Well, I know this nation. We'll meet the test, protect freedom and liberty, expand fairness and opportunity, and we will save democracy. As hard as those times have been, I'm more optimistic about America today than I've been my whole life, because I see the future that's within our grasp, because I know there's simply nothing beyond our capacity. We're the only nation on earth that has always turned every crisis we faced into an opportunity. The only nation that can be defined by a single word: possibilities. So on this night, on our 245th year as a nation, I've come to report on the state of the nation, the State of the Union. And my report is this: the State of the Union is strong because you, the American people, are strong. We are stronger today. We are stronger today than we were a year ago. And we'll be stronger a year from now than we are today. This is our moment to meet and overcome the challenges of our time. And we will, as one people, one America, the United States of America. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you. Go get him.
So that is our live coverage of the State of the Union, as you can see, Biden delivered a speech today where he went over everything in the kitchen sink politically, and did it in a pretty good manner. Not too bad of a speech. I've heard much worse from other presidents. He tackled everything from Ukraine to LGBTQ rights to gun rights to mass shootings to Ukraine to Putin to the economy to the food shortages to COVID to the mask mandates to the CDC changing the mask mandates to all the COVID variants and everything in between. It was overall a pretty good speech. We'll actually be covering more of this later this week. We will be doing the episode later this week. We'll be broadcasting it live as well. We'll go over this with more detail. Thank you for watching. This concludes our live coverage of the 2022 State of the Union.